Go, go, go. In the top right-hand side, we're going to have our red Terran player. This is GuMiho. Take us off and into this. Well, in the bottom left-hand corner, our blue Zerg player will be Dark from Talon eSports, of course. GuMiho from Cloud9. Don't forget all these awesome teams that have decided to pick up players in StarCraft 2 as of late. Cool to see. And we get into this one and see just what it is we're going to be about in these early stages. Testify, so plenty of time to play this. Usually I feel like Dark really does smack GuMiho around a little bit, and I say that in the nicest way possible because I do feel as though just Dark has GuMiho's number. I feel like GuMiho really struggles in this matchup. The best I saw GuMiho play against Dark, I feel like, was that throwback to around this time last year. About a year ago, we had that Gamers Without Borders, which was the qualification to Gamers 8 last year. I feel like that was the last time I really saw GuMiho putting up like a really solid fight against Dark, but I'm going to check the match history because there's probably a couple times I'm misremembering. I mean, that series was just a banger, and GuMiho was very unfortunate not to qualify for Gamers 8 because he played great in that entire qualifying process, and he only just missed out. Yeah, okay, to say it's Dark dominated is actually an understatement. Holy crap. Hang on. All-time, Dark is not just 52-11 in series, but 142-57 in maps. You guys want to listen to this? This is the recent history between Dark and GuMiho. Okay? Dark 3-0. Dark 3-0. Dark 2-0. Dark 2-1. Dark 3-1. Dark 3-0. Dark 2-1. Dark 3-1. Dark 2-0. Dark 2-1. Dark lost 1-2 in the KSL in September. And then Dark 2-0, Dark 3-1, Dark 3-0, Dark 3-0, Dark 3-1, Dark 2-1, Dark 3-1, 2-1, 2-0, 2-1, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-2, 2-0, and then he lost in the Korean Royale in March. Like, that's 2 losses in a year to GuMiho, and they've played like 20 plus times. That is some ridiculous numbers to credit Dark, because he will lose the Overlord early here. Feelings coming across the map and then going into that fast roach from the Marine opening. And a low ground setup is not exactly going to do you any favors against these roaches. But GuMiho loses the Lings as well, so he has no information as to what's coming. This might just be a very dead GuMiho very quickly in this game. As this time into Dark, on a map like this, you don't expect it on Alcyone, which is why it's maybe the kind of perfect time to utilize it, right? So, could be the perfect storm. As you see that Hellion coming across, a couple of Lings still getting picked away at. And again, those roaches are going to be popping. We're going to drone behind it, but it's going to be some light pressure. But I mean, light but heavy in a way. As you have the roaches coming over, the alien is going to get there. It's going to take some hits and just going to get pushed back for the moment. As we have our Cyclone, our Tech Lab, our Refinery. I bet all that coming up as well as we get ourselves all set for the moment. Marine, a couple of Hellions will fight against this Roach. One Marine goes down immediately. Roach still getting chased away. The couple of Hellions coming across there. That SCV will be killed, so that's already going to be the SCV down. And these couple of Roaches going to move up, but there's a Cyclone out, so GuMiho is actually going to be looking pretty okay. The Cyclone took some shots, but not enough shots. Ravager showing up as well. One Hellion goes down. We will keep the pressure going here. As, whoa, careful with that Cyclone. Do not lose the Cyclone. That would be disastrous. Get rid of another Hellion. Cyclone gets one more log. Actually gonna... Oh, I thought it was gonna kill the Roach, honestly. We're gonna break in, guys. We are gonna get through this depot. We are gonna be into the base. Couple of low HP Roaches. Dark has the money to morph in one more Ravager. I really feel like we should be, again, wanting to grab this Cyclone. We are gonna get it, but the new Cyclone is out, so this should be a defense. How many SCVs do we get? A handful. Nothing too crazy all said and done. Good Corrosive Bile. Gonna land for one more. And that's going to be 5 workers killed. The thing is, Dark drones so soon behind this that I'm not even sure he's in a bad position following this. Well, solid stuff as we just have plenty of SCVs falling. Now we're going to build a third CC on location. So GuMiho's like, okay, I'm going to just speed this up here. There's no Ling speed because he invests into those Roaches early, so it's not a terrible idea. Because who's going to come across him out with slow Roaches with a Banshee or 2 out and Cyclones as well? And if there's no Link speed, that third is probably going to be safe. So I think good deduction from GuMiho to realize, hey, look, I think this third base can absolutely come down. I think that's absolutely going to be a dub. I like that. Raven coming through, a couple more SCVs coming about. Lair, drones, Roach, Queen. Bit of everything coming through as well. And let's just see how a Racks and a Tech Lab coming up from GuMiho as well. Make that 2 more barracks coming up. And extractors going down, the barracks all building. Banshees will continue to go down to the south as well, so we continue to move that back down to the bottom here just for a couple more moments. So this orbital is punching through some SCVs, couple of racks, couple of engineering bays, all getting built up as well. Still got that factory finishing up a reactor as well, a couple of barracks still coming by. The Raven and the Banshees together will be joining up. Factory load's going to go over to the tech lab, but the barracks can maybe swap over to the reactor as well. You get rid of another couple of creep tumors here. With the Raven out, you don't have to spend any scans, so this Banshee Raven squadron is actually going to be kind of useful. Raven and Banshees back down the bottom. Extra drones coming about, the Roach Speed and the Overseer coming through. And an attack upgrade coming on the Engineering Bay. Banshees and the Raven continue to chill. +1 missiles and carapace coming about with the Roach Speed about halfway done as well. Continue to bring that through for the moment. Once again, 1-1 upgrades and the stim pack continue to come around as well. The Banshees fire it up. Hatchery going to be taking some shots. It is going to go down. The drone gets picked away at. The drone's going to go elsewhere, split apart. Again, Banshees and the Raven come back around into the center. Tanklings will continue to chill. We got a few Marines that's going to come stimming in after the Overseer. That's going to go down as well. So nice little grab. Get rid of that quickly. And from here, we have ourselves just continue to set himself up. Yeah, I like this little Banshee Raven squad. But there's not any kind of bigger push coming from GuMiho just yet. Dark moving into Infestation Pit already, so Hive can come online perhaps. Got the Hydrogen coming. Might just be somewhat of a rush towards Lurkers. There's an auto turret to help stay in position. The DPS from these auto turrets helping to get rid of the hatchery. That's a cancel on the 4th base. Wow. Things I didn't expect to be seen today. The 4th base canceled because of an auto turret drop. And now we cancel the left side 4th as Cyclones and Marines show up. Good play from GuMiho. 1-1 is going to be stuck though. No 2-2 just yet because of the armory. Still about to finish. And those 1-1 missile upgrades just now coming through, and we do have those Banshees. And even more creep spread. I mean, kind of a wild game that we're going to have setting up here. And the end of it all, Banshees get rid of a couple more creep tumors. Now going to come across and go onto this hatchery. Just going to pick through this for a little bit. Hatchery going to cancel and rebuild. Knock a set of rocks down. Banshee's going to activate again, going after that Roach, pushing it back down the bottom. Roach Ravager still gathering together here. Knock down a couple more creep tumors. These Banshees going to get active once again. And just seeing the rest of the bio still moving about. Here have our Lurk Den coming up. Our 2-2 upgrades on the way from Dark also. And that Hive is about to finish next few moments. Tanks will siege, Cyclones will fire, Hatchery already taking shots, Marines will be nearby, Combat Shield finishing soon as the Marines are just going to stim in. Going to eat a massive fungal growth across all the Marines, though there's 2 fungals there. The first one was big, the second not quite as large. Somehow GuMiho still got enough to keep powering through though, and those Marines will move forward. This gold base again denied. Remember, this is Dark's map pick. Lose this, and already you're definitely going to be feeling a little bit worse for wear across the course of this series. Upgrades continue to come out from GuMiho as our Marines will move down. We're going to get rid of a couple more creep tumors. Hydras, Roaches, Ravagers moving about a little bit as well. Just going to be having our Assassin Spine still coming through. Going to have a couple more Crypt Teamers still getting picked away at. Just this army still sitting tight as Queens do go, and they pick off the Raven. The Banshee's still active up to the top. We got 2-2 about to finish up. Tanks will be sieging Lings. Gonna get whacked a couple of corrosive files. Good fight from Dog. Gets on the tanks quickly. And the Hydra's gonna be that little bit of extra DPS that wasn't there previously. So now even abduct forward, another tank going down. Blinding Cloud to push the Marines further forward towards this. Much better fight from Dog than what we saw previously. Way better than what we had beforehand. Well, those few Hydras gonna help knock down that Overseer. Again, Nidus Network still coming through. Extra Hydras all building. Adaptive Talons is on the way, so those Lurkers are going to get even better. And we'll see what the Nidus are going to do as the first Nidus finishes up now. We'll see where Dark tries to put those. I don't think he has anything across the map to place them with just yet, though. Let's see how Hatchery going to get picked off here. So still being denied that gold. It's an interesting game because it feels like that was a much better fight from Dark, but the setup is still pretty rough for him. Not having a 5th base, being stuck on these 4 locations is genuinely probably one of the bigger problems he could be facing right now. There's 8 more Lurkers on the way up, and then the Adaptive Talons for those Lurkers along with them. 3 upgrades coming through as well, so that is another advantage to GuMiho. Dark has not been able to afford those just yet. We'll keep moving around. We'll see the Bioforce going to come across here as well. Going to stem down at the bottom. It stems down over this side. There's a top side fight going on as well. That's a Roach Hydra cleanup. Lurk is in place. I think GuMiho is going to be running out of options a little bit. He's now going to go towards the Ghosts. As he moves towards the Ghost, I can only imagine this is going to be, again, him being slowed down. Then Doc should be able to reach out to another base and maybe start to stabilize in the ways in which he was truly struggling in this game otherwise. And going to be able to start doing all of that. Sunstale coming up, the extra Ghost still coming around as well, so we continue to bring those into play. Lurker gets picked off. And we've seen Dark actually getting a bit more aggressive, just pushing on a couple of different sides. Also has this little fight over here. Picks off a tank that was in position and is going to start pushing his way into this base, which is completely undefended right now. On the left side, these Lurkers are going to be good enough as well. Oh, GuMiho's just fallen apart in these last few moments, hasn't he? It's not going to be good enough for GuMiho in the end, as he'll clean up on the right side, but the left side base being under fire is obviously a problem. You lose this orbital, and that is just trouble for you, and even just the SCVs going down could be a problem as well. Tank is going to try and take position. Hydra's still trying to fight. The Ghost is going to get picked off as well. GG. GuMiho. Dog is going to win this out. Dog is going to grab game number 1. As we have in the top right, unfortunately losing control of Alcyone. After a pretty decent start, it is GuMiho. Bottom left, our Blue Zerg. This is Dark. So game number 2. And get this set up and ready to go. As the Roach Roaring is coming down early again, Doc. Second time in a row. He's going to be aggressive. This time there's a Reaper to try and scout with, though, from GuMiho, so that will be likely a factor. We got a little visitor, guys. One sec. He just wanted to say hi quickly. She's been out in the rain. There's a little bit of a wet though. She just wanted to say hi to you guys. She's not impressed. She wanted food. There is no food. As you have the Reaper spot on this. Bunker starts. Marines are coming through. And we got set up to go. That bunker coming by. Again, factory coming online. Refinery coming up. A few more drones on the way through as well. So we get all of that up and running. Got the Cyclone already on the way. I don't know how much trouble GuMiho will find himself in, and maybe the delay on the CC, but that's about it. With the bunker low ground, we'll stop these roaches from getting into the main base like they did last time. And yeah, I mean, we morphed one Ravager, but I just can't see this going too far. We're already going to continue to drone his Dark back at home. With a better defense this time from Gumi, just going to have the delay on the CC. That's not going to stop him starting up his third CC though. Now it's the Cyclone here, going to lock on for a moment or two. We go back and forth. We're still just going to play this dance dog and have this micro. Last game his micro was on point. Able to micro so many of the low HP roaches back for so long. There's another SCV, by the way, so again, every denial on this SCV building a command center is going to be a big win. And a couple more throws of bells coming through. Just going to be seeing this Ravager going to be knocked down, and these Morphin Ravager's going to get knocked as well. This one actually finishes. Well, now we're going to try and get the Cyclone, but I think that's going to be a task too far. There's a couple of SCVs are going to end up pulling back. I'm just going to be seeing drones, link speed, queen, all of that coming through. And get ourselves reset here, so pretty funky start. Let's just see a couple of orbitals coming about. Again, Medevac and the Cyclone Marines as well. Building. I like the Medevac potential to get across the map and deal damage, and love this Reaper going to block the hatchery on the third, so that's going to stop that for a moment or two. Destructor will nothing one more time. Cyclone going to sit here, pick away at the Overlord. Overlord will go down now, so that will drop. Again, link speed, carapace upgrade all coming through. Rack's going to drop down onto a tech lab. Stop again the reactor going. The Medevac is going to drop off the Cyclones. And that Overlord's probably going to die. There's no creep nearby to transfuse, so it's a nice catch. GuMiho continues to do well for himself so far on Solaris. As the Medevac loads back up, going to head towards the main base. That Queen will be here. I'm just going to lock onto the Queen for a second. And that's actually going to be another kill, another Overlord as well. This is getting worse and worse for Dark. He is taking a lot of damage off this Cyclone drop. That Overlord did not go down. The Lings get into the main though. No, disaster. Reaper here, that's going to go down. These SCVs will start to fall. And GuMiho will be making a mistake, giving Dark a way to start dealing some damage. There's only 4 Marines nearby. These Lings are going to run it back, and then so many of these SCVs are low. If we can just finish them off, would be incredible. Just going to run around kind of anywhere and everywhere with these Lings for the moment. More Lings going to start heading out onto the map as Dark may be looking for more run-bys. Of course, at this point, more Marines start getting built, so getting better. There's a couple of Lings keep going down. And again, the Queen's carapace upgrade continuing through as well. Another hatchery coming by. Drone is still producing. And all of this on the go for the moment. And Medevac will heal up a few more of those Marines. Extra drones, carapace, and the Queen all coming about as well. This definitely was a big a big help for Doc, who I think did come out in the early game a little bit worse for, especially with the Cyclone follow-up doing so much. So I do feel like Doc needed a little bit of a reprieve, and it does feel like he kind of gets that now. Let's just see the Marines coming in over here to try and play cleanup. There's a mule that goes down, but that's going to be about it. So Doc not exactly gaining too much out of this one. And the Bane Nest coming up, the Evo Chamber coming through. Plenty more Lings on the way. Melee upgrade coming about. So far, so good in regards to all of that right now as the rest of these Lings. Gonna come back over, trying to catch these Marines again. Just trying to catch GuMiho out of position, just trying to run by his main force. Again, just trying to cause some trouble, and so far he's been doing pretty darn well with them, I gotta say. Been pretty impressed with what GuMiho has been able to, with what Dog has been able to net himself off these Lings thus far. Ling's gonna come through again, and a few more Marines, this time mostly being lifted into the medevac as he tried to escape out of there. Now these Lings come back over, and Marines are gonna come through, chasing those Lings once again. Pushing back over to that left-hand side. Marines is going to get caught, and Lings continue to come through. Tank is going to get caught as well. Just going to be a little bit of a catch right there. Coming on by. The rest of these Lings continue to come about. Marines will continue to fight for the moment. The station pit is coming about. I see more Lings running by. Is Dog really just getting this done with run-bys? So far it seems to be the case. Well, a couple of debuffs coming through. Still got the drilling claws, 2 upgrades coming about as well. Big drop in the top left-hand side. GuMiho going to make a play into this top left-hand corner. Grab a medevac there. And that's going to be about it. Just a few more veins connected to try and properly shut that down. These things will deal with the drop this time around. Man, Doc has so many bases. I do worry a bit for GuMiho. Doc just has so many bases. I feel like this game's going to start getting out of reach for him sooner rather than later. Let's continue to come over. Bane's going to come across. More shots coming through. Damage being dealt. When Bane continues to run in, Marines and Marauders still taking shots. Widowmines going to be firing back a little bit now as well as Doc. Again, it seems to do pretty okay. And this one Liberator over here causing trouble, however. Vibers coming up, Adrenal Glands plus 2 melee all coming out. Oh, Bane's getting chased away. Marines are going to come through and actually chase down the Overlord. I'm going to find a Ling on the right side. Going to be seeing the CC dropping down there as well. A couple of spores still coming through. The Viper's still coming up. The Adrenal Glands is on the way as well, as the Widowmines are going to do so much. 8 drones. Nice to see GuMiho do something that helps to control this game, because otherwise this was starting to feel as though it might get a little bit out of reach, right? So that does feel like a big bonus. Big step in the right direction. Bane continue to come through. The Bane's going to continue to go after a lot of these Marines. A lot of Marines getting picked away at. Well, good run by on the left side as well. This base up here is going to get absolutely ransacked. Well, the only issue I have is that these Lings are kind of stuck in here. Maybe no escape, but you take down 25 workers in the process. More Widow Mines, however, will get 8 more drones. Good catches. Again, GuMiho at least getting something done, but he's still taking damage. The Lings got out. They break their way out of the depot wall off, and I think that's a big deal, being able to get back out onto the map with those Lings. And they just burrow here. They're going to be able to be using a little bit as well, so that's going to be incredible. As you see more Lings coming up this side, that's some good Widow Mines. What a saving grace that is. With any more Lings, that planetary might have genuinely just been killed. Oh, maybe it dies anyways. Ultras are starting to come to the fray, and I don't think GuMiho's really set up to deal with Ultralisks. Is GuMiho good to go attack? Well, he might be his best option. This might be the way in which Dark cannot really stop him. As Banes continue to go after a whole bunch more SCVs. This fight, though, is going to be important. Parasitic Bomb on the Medivac going to start splitting away from that. Yeah, there's not a lot defensively from Dark. He may be causing complete chaos on the other side of the map, but he needs to still defend. GuMiho decides he's not going to be able to break through, though. He thinks reinforcements will get it done, so GG is set. And Dark takes a 2-0 lead in this grand final today. As we have in the bottom right corner, now Red Terran, who is down 0-2, must win to keep this finals alive. This is GuMiho. Top left, our blue Zerg is going to be Dark. His map pick again on Golden Aura, a big map. Doesn't fill me with confidence for GuMiho, with the way that this series has been going so far. Alright, so we got ourselves up and running. We do have a couple of racks coming down. GuMiho going to turn to the good old Reaper play to try and save him a little bit here. Going to be his plan of action. Needs to do something different, to be fair, so I can't blame him for trying to find it right now. Well, a couple of hatches coming up, Reaper coming in, a couple of Reapers coming in fact, as we are going to have Frank Castle 1978 hitting the 4-month resub on the Prime, much appreciated. Thank you so much for supporting the day. So much for supporting the stream. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, a couple of hatcheries coming up. A couple different drones going to start taking damage straight away. The Queen is going to put some damage out. The drone becomes a spore before it dies, obviously. This is just the first Reaper, many to come. There's a third hatch already coming through from Dark, which means he's going to have no link speed for a while because he's playing gasless. This can be good against the Reapers because you can get more Queens out while getting a third base up and keeping it alive. So let's see if Dark can execute the defense here with link speed so far off. Going to be coming in at all. Kills a Reaper is an amazing start. Obviously, that's just going to be absolutely pristine. And a couple of Reapers come back over the left, going to start hitting this hatchery and just going to start nibbling through that. The Queen's coming over as well. These Reapers will go pinging away. Hatchery taking some damage. You will see Reactor Tech Lab both coming up. Factory and Command Centers building as well. Another grenade goes down. Queens will be bobbed backwards. Come back around into the center again. Drones, Queen, all coming up. Stimpack is already starting as well on the side of GuMiho. As we hop up, we hop down. Reapers come back over to the left-hand side. Still seeing that starport coming up, the CC coming in. That orbital just finished, and again, Queen's going to be there, chasing those Reapers still a little further. Reapers actually hop up over on the other side. They hopped up, but there was Lings there, so they hopped down. And yeah, GuMiho does not really get anywhere. Considering he lost to Reaper 2, this was 4 Reapers, and he doesn't really get anything done with this at all in these early stages. Dark is looking absolutely solid thus far. Early game of Game 3 is already looking as though we might just be on our way to a 3-0. Now, that's a long way off, obviously. Don't get me wrong, but I just, you know, if GuMiho wanted a good start, this was not necessarily it. This is not like a quick start or anything to go from there. Couple Queen's gonna fight, another grenade, so 2 coming in as well. Seeing a Stimpak coming up, extra Marines and the Medivacs coming through as well. And do have a drone going to move across over towards the hatch. On the 4th base, going to get the hatchery started up also. GuMiho showing us that bio play once again. Not afraid of playing bio even on this large map once more. So going to continue through with that in mind. Plus 1 combat shield coming through on the side of GuMiho. And you have bio still pushing up. The Medivacs here. Ready to go attacking forwards. A little bit of creep. We could maybe begin to clean out. Those Marines going to try and get going as well. We continue to stim back to the right-hand side. Hatchery still taking some shots. We're going to load up. Move towards the main base. Unload over here with the rest of these Marines. Those Lings still don't have speed, by the way, so this is actually a problem. Link speed still not being done. Maybe at this point actually is too much of a problem. The Queens, though, are going to close the gap, and while the Lings went down, they did enough to help the Queens clean this up, and this drop is defended against. Dog double expanding up to the 5 bases. Mostly, I think he says if I lose one of these, at least I'll have the other ready to go. I think that's a big part of what he's kind of looking at right now. As these Queens fight, the Marines get dealt some damage. Still got 1-1 in combat shields coming around as well. Armory building from GuMiho. Bayonet drones and Lings, melee upgrades, infestation, bit of everything coming through for the moment. More Marines in a tank, also going to make their way around just for now. You're going to be seeing the Reapers and the Marines coming through once again. Just going to have our Lings going to come through and deal with this drop. Obviously now having Ling speed helps a lot. We're going to have the Bayonets and the Infestation Pit already, so probably a look towards Hive. Open up the door towards an Ultra Cavern, because this is going to be so melee focused. So far, Dark has protected both of these kind of expands that he took for the 5th. This one might now be in some trouble, though we do have transfusions that can heal up the hatchery for a little bit as well. Tank will get closed in on as Lings come from the other side. Takes a long time to get rid of that tank. Still not down. Finally drops to the Queen Fire at the very end. Dark has a few Banes, but he does not have Baneling speed, and he's not even started Baneling speed, so we're a long way away from seeing Baneling speed be a factor here as well, so that's just going to be even more of a problem. Extra racks drop down all across the main base. The Reapers and Marines are just going to come up over here and at least pushing back some creep. This is all well and good for GuMiho, and don't get me wrong, it's nice to see him, you know, putting pressure on, but my problem is that the way that this game is going, GuMiho needs to start doing a lot more ASAP, otherwise he is in trouble. Like, you know, these bases are all set up, the tech is coming online. It feels like Dark's been so greedy that if he doesn't get punished now and he gets away with all of this, the position he ends up in this game is going to be fantastic. So I feel like that is currently the problem we're maybe seeing. Things on the bottom side going to pull back up through the center a little bit. Still got Marine tank regathering back over on the left. Hatchery in the 12 o'clock coming down as well, so just looking to take that base once again. And as you see, the Queen's going to be here to fight, and again, a couple of these Marines will start to go down. Queens have been so valuable this game. We've seen Queens do so much. It's actually impressive how much those Queens have been able to net themselves throughout the course of this. As you do see, a Ling Bane counterattack going to go down to the bottom side of the map, so away they go. And try and make something happen. The Lings run in. Actually, oh no. The wall wasn't up, although other units start showing up. The Banes are going to turn into this. The tank fire is decent. And we've got a few Lings and one Baneling left over. The Baneling doesn't do much. The Lings are going to maybe try and kill a tank. I don't think that'll happen either. Well, honestly, this was good crisis management from GuMiho. He somehow made this all be okay. This could have been terrible for him, but Dark was not unable to really connect any of his run-by units onto the meaningful kind of connections. Yeah, it could have been so much scarier for GuMiho. He could have lost so much more. Well, now he stays in the game as the Ultra Cavern comes up from Dark. GuMiho will have 2-2 way ahead of his opponent, but does he feel good enough to try and make use of that? Because obviously his opponent's been so active here. It's got to be kind of scary as those few Banes went rallied the wrong direction. They just wandered through Marine range there, so that doesn't end well. Still got the 2-2. Coming up on the Evolution Chambers, the Lings still chasing across. Marines and tanks will continue to fight. And we've seen these other Banes coming in as well. Lings will continue to clean out these few Marines. Queens are coming across also. I mean, this position is going to get broken down, but it did come at the cost of Dark eventually losing that base. Now, he does have an upper right base coming online as well. This is, again, the timing right now. The 2-2 available of GuMiho. This is him being at full power on 3 bases only. Dark, can he survive through this? It's going to be very tough, especially if you're losing every single Baneling. A few Lings around the back are catching some stray Marines. Catching reinforcements might be a big part of this. Upgrades are now in trouble as well. Even more attempts to morph in Banelings are going to be denied. Yeah, this isn't going to happen. This is it. GuMiho is going to have himself a game in this series as the 3 base is going to get the job done. Dark, I think in the end, threw away a few too many units on the other side of the map. The last couple of attacks actually didn't really net him any advantages. And if you're trying to take all these bases and tech, and your opponent is able to basically just say, "Nuh-uh, I'm gonna, go for one big attack," then you need to make sure that you're able to defend that one big attack, which isn't possible after losing so much throughout this. So that's kind of what that comes down to, and I think that does have the big impact here at the end as these few Lings continue in. These few Marines will get shot at. It really does look as though we are going to see more action in this series. Which is good. We're not just going to have a clean 3-0. We're going to get a little bit more of a fight going on. Can only be a fan of that. If you enjoy StarCraft, could have made a big difference. Able to stay alive then is the red Terran player in the top left corner of Site Delta. This is GuMiho. And in the bottom right, our blue Zerg is going to be Dark. Game number 4. Well, first, Dark has opened a lot of roaches and stuff, so maybe something to be said about this once again as we get that ready to go. Magic gas and pool all on the way. Got ourselves settled in for a couple of moments. And we figure out where we're going to go on Site Delta. Oceanborn final map if we do see GuMiho tying this up to 2-2 and able to take us to a game 5 as well. So something else to maybe consider. Oh, the Ling's coming across, so making use of that pool first that we built already. Getting that up and running. We do have our factory, our command center coming through, Queen coming in. Just have the Reaper and move down into the natural and then towards the main base in the next few moments. The Ling's going to show up though, and because this was completely unknown, these Lings are going to do well. They're going to wrap around that Marine. That's pretty bad. SCVs are pulled. Okay, this turned into pretty bad for Dark because he didn't finish off the Marine, and then the SCVs being pulled in are absolutely going to save the day. So this Reaper does turn around, goes back home. But yeah, these Lings do not succeed in anything in the end. Just didn't quite get the full stop on that Marine. I think because he turned to fight the SCVs, might have been worth just finishing the Marine first, and then at least then there's one less unit that can kind of counter around afterwards, you know? Whereas in this case, the Marine was able to just kind of chase the Lings around the base the entirety of the time. Next moves across through the natural. Orbital command is going to be coming up. Another couple of Marines down at the bottom here, just going to find this Overlord. That's what the barracks is for. So you have high ground vision. This Overlord cannot hide away as it might typically like to. So that is going to be a kill. And Dark Supply blocked. Again, GuMiho off to a pretty decent start on the first few moments here. Speed is about to finish again. Hellion, a couple more SCVs all coming through. Got ourselves the bunker coming up as well. And again, the Banshee coming in from GuMiho. In the main base, we got the Banshee up. The Hellions are still coming by. Two more Lings, the Overlord. Production, they continue to move around just a little bit. The Hellion gets there to pick that Zergling off as well. Looking at our Banshee and our Cloaking on the way. Reactor coming through, CC on the way out. This Queen coming out from the natural for a moment or so. It's going to be moving forward a little bit as well. There goes the Banshee, number one popping out, another one now on the way. So our Banshees begin to come through here, and the refineries are building, and just have the SCV pulling back into the natural. Yeah, what's up, Solo Genti? How you doing, mate? Thank you so much. 34-month resub on the Prime. Cheers. Right back at you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and what we do here. Going up to 3 years. Hell yeah. Thank you so much. Excellent engineering base continue to build through. We do have this one Hellion. Gonna finish off that Zergling as well. It's just gonna pick that up. And we get into this next stage of the game again after, in my eyes, Dog has had a pretty rough time early. His pull first didn't do too much. Now we're in towards a Bane Nest and a Lair. Not going to have priority on upgrades this game, so that will be an advantage to GuMiho. Maybe some timings in the future where he will have 1-1, maybe way further in the future with 2-2. His opponent will struggle to match the upgrades because Evo Chambers aren't even built yet, so it's definitely an opportunity as we do get rid of a Hellion though. Now the double Banshee going to move through, showing itself on creep as well. No Overseers available yet, so you don't have static detection for mobile detection for a few more moments, just the static detection in the form of the spores. But no spawn the natural as the Overseer needs to spawn ASAP there on that natural. Going to start morphing that in as all the drones had to evacuate. 3 going down. The Queens here will start a fight, and whoa, these Banshees need to be careful. Spores about to finish, Overseer's about to finish. We do get one more drone. Again, GuMiho not doing bad for himself. Able to do a fair amount here so far. And now these Banshees starting to pick their way through that hatch, so a bit more damage being dealt as the Queen's coming across, chasing that Banshee down, pushing that away to the far left-hand side. One upgrades the stim pack being built, the extra barracks are all coming through. Got a whole bunch of creep spread coming up from Dark as well, so the creep is not slowing down in the slightest. Again, those upgrades are going to be the biggest letdown for Dark, but that was a choice for him to get the Bane speed up sooner. Now he will get the Hydrogen down as well as to prioritizing that lair instead, and he is seeing things to kind of benefit him in that regard, so stuff coming up with that. More of those drones pull out over to the side. We do see a few Lings coming up, just going to nibble at that set of rocks for a few moments. Again, Hydrogen is about to finish. Overlords, Banes coming through. Bane speed and the +1 carapace coming through also. Brings a medevacs. We'll move out around the bottom. Still seeing some Lings, some Hydras, Groove Spines coming up as well. Those melee upgrades continuing to bow as we stem in. A couple creep tumors already being knocked down, so that's 4 creep tumors being taken out immediately. So these Marines and Medivacs still chilling again. Melee upgrades coming through. Muscle Ultraman's coming up. Hydra's still coming in. A couple more. Chima's getting knocked down. Our Marines will load back into the Medivacs. Banshees are still trying to stay active, deny a base while everything else is going on. And GuMiho has that upgrade lead. Doc prioritizes his carapace upgrade. His melee upgrade trails behind by a little in comparison. Feelings here actually going to try and grab a siege tank, and it's just going to be left to die. The other units maybe could have turned to help it, but I think the rest of the units showing up maybe would have been too much. But at first, I think you probably could have saved that tank, and then maybe everything together, maybe Doc doesn't decide to go. Now we're going to have another of these tanks caught, but at least the medevac will evacuate. And the Marines able to keep chasing. Again, the upgrades make it difficult for Doc to justify taking a more straight-up fight. And just push back the Banshees. Doc, money to spend. He's got an infestation pick coming through, so obviously again we're looking towards Hive, probably a Lurker Den eventually as well, but that is much further down the line than where we're at currently. Yo, Bodo de Banana Nyangba. Thank you so much for the 35-month resub on the Prime. Again, I appreciate you using the Prime on the channel. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. I really appreciate it. As we have Army around the left, still continuing to get set up. Got 2 upgrades coming up to completion very soon. More Lings coming about, Hive coming in, and melee upgrades are coming around also. There's a few Hydras, just would like this Banshee to run out of energy or some detection to show up. Overseer will be here in a moment. There we go. Took a moment as we do see Doc spreading. He would be fighting into an upgrade advantage of the Terran play if he went right now, so he's so far away from his own 2-2 though, as he does have a drop to deal with top right. Oh, he's going to counterattack. Well, that's going to get interesting because Doc's going to counterattack. He's going to have to deal with the drop on the right side. And the defense over here is currently just going to be this group of Marines. The Feeling's already on that mineral line. Start to get active, but the Marines will clean up, so the counterattack doesn't do much. And now you lose 2 bases. Dog loses his 4th and his 5th in quick succession. The drop top right, meaning that he loses that top right base while also losing this one here. He might have been okay counterattacking and losing this base because he had the upper right, but the drop there combines to make this very difficult now for Doc, who just has been unable to find the engagement. GuMiho, slow, steady, and now absolutely putting himself in a great spot. This time it's going to be Banes showing up as SCVs and Marines try and get out of trouble. The Banes will go to town, and it's almost not even worth using Banelings towards the end because there's not many units left, so we actually save a few of those Banes rather than going for the final couple of kills. Couple more medevacs popping, 10 more Marines coming through. Still Ling Bane out in the center with a couple of Vipers, and 2 melee upgrades coming about as well from Doc. Well, Marines continue to come through. A couple of those Overlords will get chased around for a bit. More Lings heading through the center of the map. Just going to be having everything else still joining together. Here come these Marines. Coming in from a couple different sides. Bane, Hydra coming in. This is the fight from Dog to try and give him a shot at winning this series. It ain't going to happen, though. We're going to go all the way to a 5th and final game. So we are going to see everything today. We're going to see all the maps in the ground. Number 5. As we have in the top left-hand side, our red Terran player here is going to be GuMiho, taking on the blue Zerg in the bottom right. This is Doc. So we get to this 5th final game of the series. Grand final's going to come down to this one. Do you guys think GuMiho can complete the reverse sweep after having such a bad record against Doc? I do feel like he's been a strong player in this series, honestly. Order coming up, Reaper coming through. We got ourselves set for a couple moments. So we'll come to bed again, Queens and Lings on the way. Obviously, we got ourselves a few moments here before things really kick off. We really start to see what's happening. It's going to be dark with gas ready to go for the Ling speed, though. So we'll have the Lings coming out early. That is, at the very least, known. Let's see our grenade going off for the Reaper. Again, a couple CCs. Continue to build. Get this all ready. Maybe continue to nibble away at that hatchery for a little bit. Single Marine's going to keep nibbling at the OV. Have ourselves again the Starport coming through as well, so we get that on the go. It's going to be seeing this Rax coming over here. Is going to go and drop down for reactor. Just going to get that going. Coming through, CC coming online. Macromancer, how you doing, matey? Thank you so much. 32-month resub, all the 30-ish month resubs on the Prime in the last 10-15 minutes. Thank you so much. Again, Banshee going to be the choice again here from GuMiho alongside some Hellions, so gets that on the go. Banshee cloaking coming up. Just going to see how Orbital wolfing in on the main. That Link speed still coming through as well. Just for a couple of moments. Again, Banshee and Cloak still coming up. The factory coming through also, so we get that also started now. CC is coming through. We are going to go factories. We're going to play mech to round it out in this series. I love it. GuMiho holds mech all the way till Oceanborn. Now going to bring it through. We have him coming up, a couple Cyclones coming through, Armory coming in as well. See the Banshee showing up, and Dark is not ready for Banshees at all. Uh-oh, this is bad. Taking damage already when you're playing against mech is something that can go, Let's just see a few more drones going down. I mean, this is bad. You know, you get into mech, you have a work a lead with mech. There's a lot of potential there for GuMiho. He's going to deal with this little Ling run by without too much issue as well. Still chilling around the bottom. Hellions coming through. A couple more creep tumors getting knocked down. Hurricane engines is being built for the Cyclones, getting that Cyclone speed ready as Dark. Trying to just manipulate his way around against those Cyclones defensively. Still trying to find damage on the other side of the map, although not really able to do too much just yet. Cyclone still moving about, so I was just trying to hold some middle of the map control. We do not have really, though. The one thing I will say is we don't have much kind of way of kind of clearing creep, I guess, unless the Cyclones are going to kind of get out and try and make something of it, so. So I see a couple Banshees chilling in the upper right. And the tanks coming about. Hurricane engines still coming through. Like I say, that Cyclone speed coming online. It's going to be called Hurricane engines in the next patch in the next couple days, so. I'll start getting used to calling it that one as we allow Roaches still trying to sit back defensively. Cyclone's still gathering up. Raven is still overhead. We have got ourselves the Vipers lurked in. The late game in general just continues to get set up here for the moment, so we make our way towards that. Roaches, Hydras all going to be gathering up for a couple of moments, everything getting joined in for a couple of moments here, getting everything set together. Just for now. Again, with extra starports coming up, we continue to play into this for the moment, continue to get on the road. That one's locking on. Roaches, Hydras, the Overseer continue to get chased back just a little further once again, so we continue to get some damage done. Vikings come through, a couple more shots coming in. Oh, there's Nidus on the way up. The Banshee's going to get here. Hellions and a tank going to come through and pick our way through that Nidus. Just going to play the denial game there. With a fusion core coming out, we will see the big progress being made on the side of GuMiho. Just coming straight in towards this, and anti-armor missile goes down. They're actually going to land and try and help out a little bit here. So we're going to see an abduct on the Cyclone coming back the other way. And Vikings tanks all coming through. The extra command centers are building. Spire coming in with 11 lurkers also producing through. +3 missiles, adaptive talents, and melee upgrade. It's a bit of everything on the way out for the moment as that Banshee's going to go whacking away at this hatchery. So just working through this for the moment here. Get that up and running. We do have our Hydra's going to come back over the right. Of course, just lots of bases from Dark. GuMiho getting into his real late game setup as well. I mean, this is the kind of game you want to play as a mech player. You actually get to go as late as you want to get. You know, you're not going to die sometime kind of on the way there. I don't think it really gets better than this as Roaches and Hyde's going to come through. A couple of abducts. Going to go off immediately. Viking is going to get picked off as well. Lurkers are going to unburrow, reposition slightly too. Those Lurkers now going to go jumping onto the Planetary Fortress. Gonna see another tank going down. Branches will fire. Hatcher in the top right will be taking a whole bunch of damage, so that will come through as well. Obviously, our battlecruiser is on the way, and that's the real end goal from GuMiho, to get up to a big battlecruiser army. Could not have asked for a much better way to conclude this grand final. Could we get into 5 games? Now going to see the BCs on the way as well. Really going to get to see the full distance of it. Cyclones and Hellions chase down a group of Hydras over here. The blue flame kicking in so that the Hydras do melt. Great Spire on the way, of course. Dark probably needs to make Corruptors against those BCs. Hydras probably will not cut it, especially if BCs get good upgrades, which again, +2 vehicle plating already. That's going to be a big step in the right direction, for example. The Corruptors coming up, so Dark definitely realizing what I'm saying, which is, yeah, you just kind of need to make sure that that is going to be an option for you. As the Hellions come through, they'll knock down a few more creep tumors. Going to keep on scanning and moving forward. Spores in position out the front. We're going to knock down a bunch more drones here. 8 workers going down. Now the Hydra's going to get across. They're going to chase those Hellions down. Hellions taking a lot of damage. All the Hellions going down, so clean up. I mean, that's mostly a mineral dump for GuMiho. It's not the end of the world to have to replace Hellions. A lot of the time, you might even, like I say, use this supply to kind of build 3 more BCs when the current ones are done, so at least we do trade out those Hellions for some drones. Any hit on the economy of Dark will just slow them down that little bit. That's something you definitely got to try and add up for throughout the course of this now. I just knocked down the rocks. Tank already going, first Cyclones are already going down. Dark trying to get that upper right base, that's something you can't really let happen as GuMiho, because if Dark mines from that base and his bottom left, then he's essentially taking resources away from you that you're meant to have for yourself. And if you can't access those resources, then it really means you got to trade extremely efficiently to make this game okay for you in the long run. BCs are still lingering around the left side. We see more of them on the way. After a round of tanks as well, we cancel one base out in the front. Dark, again, slow and meticulous is exactly how you need to play against this kind of a style. You can't just go kind of headbutting into it. BC's on a long journey, by the way. By flying down to the bottom, they'll be able to teleport home. I imagine they're going to go for this bottom left base site. Maybe even another if they can get far enough along before they get stopped. We'll deny the base top right as well, so base denial is a very real thing at the moment from GuMiho. And as we scan up, moving forwards, we're actually going to see the armies over to the left-hand side, but like I said, those BCs are going to be flying by into position soon. They're actually going to ignore this base and just go for the next base along where there are going to be drones, so a bit more of a substantial place for them to be. I mean, drones have evacuated. The spores begin to go down, though. This position starts to get picked apart. At the same time, these Broodlords are still pressing forwards. We need to see these Hydras, obviously, helping out. The Broodlord's actually taking a bit of a beating right now, as Dark has actually kind of just left them on their own. The Hydras were chasing the Vikings, which means that the battle cruisers were able to kind of go onto them, and yeah, these Hydras are going down as well. Hydras are just not good enough here, realistically, and every Broodlord is going to die. And Dark doesn't have that much money in the bank, by the way. That's kind of a big deal here as well. The money available is really preferable to GuMiho, as now Dark has lost this bottom base. That was one of the ones he was mining from. The base to the left-hand side, I can't imagine is going to be that much better for him. Battlecruiser gets abducted, another one again. We do have teleports available. We're going to teleport everything out here, rather than running the risk of losing more BCs. I think just knowing that it's the bottom left base that's still alive means it's a fairly easy target. Plenty of Cyclones, more BCs on the way out. The rebuild continues in Dark. He did build a bunch of additional Corruptors. But again, it's a question of still getting those into play, getting those to be used. He's actually going to find the BCs now. They should be on teleport cooldown, so jumping on these may not be a bad thing. We're going to drop the Yamatos, knock the Corruptor count down quickly, but again, without teleporting away, these BCs will begin to go down. And the Corruptors are able to take a pretty decent fight here. Any BC you knock down is a win. The Cyclones are finally showing up. That's what you need these Cyclones for. They took way too long to get here. Finally, they are here, and they do knock down a lot of Corruptors. And again, Dark doesn't really have the money to rebuild GuMiho. I opened this series up talking about GuMiho's win record against Dark lately, and it is terrible. The last year, he's won about 2 series out of 20, and a lot of the time it's 3-0, 2-0. You know, the maps aren't close. This was 2-0 for Dark. GuMiho had some good starts in those first 2 games, but again, Dark was able to kind of play well enough to get himself back in the game and undo those advantages. And then GuMiho has just sharpened up since then and is now looking to take this for the complete reverse sweep. Dark has been able to spend his money to remax one more time, but again, he's absolutely strapped for cash. He does not have money to reinforce with yet again behind this. Here comes the fight. The Vipers are going to go down, so that's already an expense. We teleport back to the BCs already that were Parasaic bombed. Corruptors are still chasing. Don't think these BCs have teleport, otherwise they would have been out of here already. As we do knock down the Corruptors though, and that's going to be it. Dog has to type GG's, and GuMiho gets the reverse sweep. How about that for a result? How about that for GuMiho to go from 0-2 to 3-2 in a variety of different ways as well?